Welcome to another episode of Buddies, Booze, Banter's Unfiltered Conversations. I'm Rick.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Alex.
Alex, want to hit that little outtake that I sent over to you?
Can I snooze through this?
No.
You're sitting in court again, under pressure and stress, and then a warm feeling comes over you, uncomfortably warm.
Uh-oh.
It's pressure, all right. Down there. That's when you need Trump Diapers. Trump Diapers, the elite adults incontinence product for owning lives on the go while you go. Trump Diapers contain a comforting, patent-pending fiber that's the ultimate in pulling fluids from your delicate orange skin.
I always look orange.
With Trump Diapers, you can sit all day in luxurious comfort, whether you're busy ending democracy or just rage posting on
This is a
social
video?
media without consequence.
It is actually in the Lincoln Project put it together. It's actually an advertisement.
I thought it was on Saturday Night Live or
And
something.
Trump Diapers make insurrection easy.
This is real.
You'll never need to poop in the Capitol again. Trump Diapers, for when you're losing
Send
your
this to my
shit
parents.
in more ways than one.
Yeah, folks, I mean, I came across that the other day, and if everybody doesn't know, there's a couple of organizations out there. There's one's Midas Touch, and there's also the Lincoln Project. And these are typically, the Lincoln Project in particular are anti-Trumpers,
Yes.
or as they like to call them, rhinos on Trump's side of it. And they really have just been slamming him, especially since he's been falling asleep in his court trial, and as well as he's having some gassy issues. And of course, there's apparently some kind, some sort of validity conversation that he actually wears diapers, and the stench that comes from them. So it was just absolutely hilarious. And I think that leading into this next segment, I just couldn't resist putting it out there. And of course, I definitely love having fun with the whole Trump diapers.
I'll take two pair.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially if you're going to go gambling, maybe you need them then.
Yep.
But
And if you're doing good at the table, you just don't want to get
you
up.
don't want to move up. You don't want to lose your seat. You don't want to lose that momentum.
You're on a heater.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of like jump into this whole Trump trial and where we are. We're I guess, including the jury selection, we're coming out of week 3, going into week 4
week three,
now.
Yep.
And it is obviously Friday. We actually had Hope, I guess, was one of his longtime, assistants.
Yes.
Who actually was on the...
Actually, she was a good friend of Ivanka.
Correct. And I just found out also she's engaged the actual boss of Goldman Sachs.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, well, she's obviously marrying up.
Yeah, of course.
Who absolutely happens to be very, close to Trump as well. Go figure that one. But she was obviously on the witness stand as, not necessarily a willing witness for the prosecution. She was actually more of a hostile one.
She was subpoenaed.
Correct. And, she was obviously very truthful in regards to what she actually ended up saying on the stand itself. And she was, precise, poignant, and right to the exact points when she was asked the question specifically by the prosecution. And then it came cross-examination time. And again, she's a friendly witness for the Trump side because she's obviously still in that orbit of his. And apparently the first question out of the actual defense attorney asking her question, she just burst out in tears. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people are speculating, well, why did she do that? Because she realized, based upon her testimony that she had just given, based upon the questions from the prosecution, she just fucked Trump.
And not in a good way.
And not in a good way. When she puts 2 and 2 together, she realizes, I was just telling the truth, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit. So I have not seen all the outtakes or at least the wording of all.
I wish this would have been televised.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, just to have cameras on there and seeing his... when everybody's talking about how he's looking, how he's reacting, how he's sleeping off and dozing, they've even said that they now have props for him. And so he walks in with a stack of papers so that and they tell him, just like, as soon as you feel like you're going to start to go to sleep, you start shuffling the papers like you're going through them to try and keep yourself awake. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a guy who wants to be the president of the United States again. He can't sit through 8 hours of a court date.
No.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, isn't he taking his Adderall and other shit that he usually takes?
I mean, we're seeing a different side of Trump at this trial because he's got to be quiet. He can't say anything.
Oh, yeah, he's been fined as well.
But that's been outside of court.
Well, correct, outside the court. Well, I mean, of course, he was bitching and complaining, or his lawyer was, about there's just so much out there as soon as they walk inside the lobby outside the courthouse and how it's set up, and they're just like almost ambushes. Like, and the judge is like, "We set it up for you as the politician who's running for president. You don't have to use it." I mean, so they've made every type of accommodation for the Trump team, and now it's all against. I mean, he went up to the microphone. Well, I guess it was like Thursday or something like last week, and he said, "I can't even testify." No, you can't say shit outside the courtroom, dumbass. You can still testify. Now, you can testify and you probably put your fucking foot in your mouth. But, I mean, don't lie. I mean, that is so blatantly. Now, the sad thing about it is his core people are believing that.
Oh, I know.
They believe it.
But did you hear what the judge did?
Which one? What, I mean, he did a lot of shit.
Well, because basically Trump said in one of his speeches outside, saying that I cannot testify because of the gag rule.
Correct.
I cannot testify.
That's what I just said.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm just repeating what you said because you said I don't know. But the next day in court, the judge, before the jury was brought in, said I think I just want to make sure y'all are in full understanding that or he didn't say Mr. President, I think he said Mr. Trump, you can testify. That has nothing to do with but you didn't say anything about the judge saying that.
I did say something about the judge, didn't I? I did say something about the judge. I mean, so you selectively hear me.
I'm making. Well, that's true too.
Again,
that's obvious.
Selectively hearing. That's
you
for
didn't. You didn't specifically say the judge.
I did say the judge.
Him.
Yeah, but the judge didn't scold him. He just wanted to remind him. He's like, dude, walking out there and saying shit in front of the cameras and the microphones versus you testifying.
But it was like a huge
different.
deal. The judge said, "I want you to know you can."
Well, that's because they would have used that on appeal, and the judge is like, "Yeah, no, I'm calling you on your crap right now because that's not appealable."
Right.
I mean, and the sad thing about it is he's got to do that simply because he's got to get out in front of it.
Yeah,
constantly get out in front of it. And it's just ludicrous, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, and I don't remember hearing anything when Stormy Daniels was on the stand. I know that she was on there.
No, she hasn't been on the.
She hasn't been on the stand
yet.
No. Has McDougal yet?
Nope.
Okay, well,
this thing's going to drag on for a while now.
Well, they said it would go for probably about 6 weeks.
Damn.
Well, we're already into the fourth week. I think it's going to go longer.
I think we're not even close. We're not even halfway.
Yeah. I'm thinking more 8 to 9 weeks.
I don't know. It just depends on who all they call.
It'll probably be 5 minutes when they come back as guilty.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the part where it's going to be interesting because it's like I've listened to quite a bit.
Michael Cohen's on the stand now, right?
No, Hope Hicks is still on the stand.
But Michael Cohen's about to go on. No,
they did not say who the next one is.
I think it's him because
there's speculation it could be him
because they're talking about the secret taping that he did of him and Trump, and a lot of people say that it's beneficial to the prosecution to a degree, but I mean there's a spin on it that it actually works in the defense side as well.
I mean, but basically, all I gotta say is the prosecutors seem like they're putting on a good case. It's like they're at least
very methodical.
It makes sense. And it's just like I've been always waiting to see how they're going to get cross-examined. And the biggest one's going to be when Cohen gets on there.
Oh, that is going to be like fucking World War III.
Yeah.
I mean, just the glaring. I mean, I don't know if Trump's going to be able to keep his mouth shut and sit still. That is probably the only one who's actually on the stand that he doesn't fall asleep to.
Oh, that's true.
Just because of the seething hate that he hates for him at this stage and point. And the funny thing about all of that is, he was, definitely Trump's lackey and his lapdog for a decade or so. Now he doesn't give a shit.
No.
He thinks Trump is just plain dirt.
Yep.
That is a man, yes, who ended up going to jail for you, now has a felony, can't vote, can't do things of that sort for you because you decided to put something with a porn star and then pay her off, and to keep it hushed up and all that stuff. He was doing your bidding. He was doing your dirty work. And all of a sudden he paid the price for it, and you basically threw him out in the wash.
My thing, I'm just like everybody else, is I just want to see how they're going to cross-examine Cohen.
Yeah.
Because, when they're talking about this, they're trying to make it sound like Trump had no idea what was going on when they crossed
I think based upon the actual evidence the prosecution put in there, specifically around emails, it's proven that he actually was aware of it, and the defense has pretty much conceded already. Yeah, he kind of knew something, but they're trying to spin it saying it wasn't a payoff, is what they're trying to say. He knew there was money paid, but it was like a I don't know, some services rendered. Yeah, she blew you.
I call it services rendered.
Yeah, I mean, she had sex with you. That's the services that she provided. And she did say, which I hope she does say on the stand, that you weren't very good at it either.
It was
I'm just saying, because that's the one that I want to see. How
Stormy?
hard. Yeah, I want to see if they go hard at her, because, that's when, yes, I mean, she's put herself out there, and yes, she's the porn star, but she is somewhat likable, to be honest with you. I mean, she's not like one of, somebody who's like vindictive and stuff like that. I mean, I think that somebody who's been out there talking about this story for so long, we're talking about 8 years now. I mean, she could have gave up a long time ago, and she's sticking to her story. McDougal's sticking to their story. So I wonder if they come as defense lawyers, come at the women that hard, how is that going to backlash on them at all? Because McDougal wasn't a porn star; she was just a Playboy centerfold.
Right.
And that was supposedly an 8-month affair.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
So no, it's good. It's going to be interesting. It did get some more facts, but it's like they still need to pull in more of the facts. But they're telling a great story, and then it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I always look forward to the cross examination, because it's just to see what they're going to do.
Well, and I think that, the news organizations are doing smart things out there. They've actually got their lead anchor sitting inside the courtrooms, and they're kind of like just passing off each other, and on NMSBC, CNN, and of course Maggie Hammername, whatever her name is, and who is the nemesis of Donald
But if
Trump.
this was on TV, this would have been bigger than the OJ
It
trial.
definitely. I mean, I would just I'd watch it the entire time just to see him seething. And hopefully.
Well,
it'd be great to see a microphone next to him so he's farting.
But if it was on TV, he wouldn't be closing his eyes or napping.
I don't know if he'd be able to not do that. I mean, clearly there's an issue here. I mean, can you imagine how pissed off he is that everybody's talking about he's sleeping through a trial when he's obviously talking about Sleepy Joe, and now he's Dozy Trump, Dozy and Gassy Trump. I mean, people are saying that he wears diapers, he has gas, and it stinks, and he's actually sleeping. He's like seething behind the scenes.
Yep.
Because, I mean, as far as he's concerned, when he looks in the mirror, he's God's gift. He really thinks he's God's gift.
No.
I know. I mean, but that's a narcissist. That's how they are. It's just crazy, to be honest with you. I just think it's the funny thing. So, I mean, let's see how it goes and with Cohen, who comes up next. I think that you're going to have softball throws at Hope over the next day or so when she gets back on the bench.
He'll be back on Monday, but then I was like, I don't think they'll be softball. I think they'll get a little tough with her, but not too tough.
Well, it's kind of hard to, because, I mean, she just stated the facts, first of all. I mean, So if they get hard at her, I mean, they would try to, have her change her story. It's like, well, then you just said that she lied to the prosecution when they questioned her. So, I mean, it's almost like a double-edged sword for the defense at this stage. Yeah. I would think. There's obviously a lot of different outtakes and issues that are definitely coming off of that as well. He's not doing any rallies, and when he does
he did a rally.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
And when he does the rallies, it's like he's like not. I don't want to say because obviously people who have dementia and things like that, I mean, it's a serious thing, but there's clearly something mentally wrong with him. I mean, he can't even say just basic. They said 4-syllable words he cannot say anymore. I mean, the guy is there's. I think his mental capability has definitely diminished over the last 2-3 months. I mean, there's just something that, and I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care whether you think he's the best thing since cream cheese or sliced bread. We don't need somebody like that as president. At least Sleepy Joe, I mean, he could. Did you see? I mean, the other day when he Trump couldn't even read the teleprompter. He had to go up there and reposition. And he's like, I hate these. Then he tried to spin. He's like, you see what Biden does? He's like, yeah, Biden fucking reads it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at least sticks to it. It may be a little bit slow, methodical, but he sticks to it and reads it. And he also happens to be an 81-year-old man who has stuttered his entire life. Mm-hmm. So, you can't hold that against him. It is what it is. But I just don't think that, God, what's going to happen in 8 months if he gets elected? Mm-hmm. I mean, Jekyll and Hyde.
Yep.
Inside that office. 1 minute he's a dictator and he's chopping off the head of his political opponents, and God knows sleeping with porn stars the next day. I don't know.
We don't have to worry about that for another 8 months. We'll see what happens.
No. Yeah, let's hope something happens to him prior to that. No, I'm just saying, not something somebody does to him, but just something happens to him. You know, maybe they, you know, his kids finally realize that he's lost his mental capability, and they fucking will put him in an institution.
That ain't gonna happen.
Or become a what do they call it? You know, a conservatory, whatever that is.
Yeah, conservatorship.
Yeah,
You know,
somebody needs to.
Yeah.
But apparently, he doesn't even have access to, you know, controlling his companies either. Although it's kind of he does, you know. But I mean, his son, he signed that over to his son supposedly. I would assume.
He was supposed to. I don't know if he ever did, or who knows.
Well, that's where the question I come in is like this, and it kind of jumps into this next topic. How the hell can he be chairman of the board or whatever it is, or chairman of the company for this media company if he's not involved in his own companies? But he's still that. I mean, he actually owns most of the stock.
You're talking about True Social.
Yes, True. Well, and the parent company that it merged with. So,
Yeah.
You know, and really it continues to decrease in stock pricing. What I have a problem understanding is that it continues to increase based upon value estimations. At this stage, it's valued at $8 billion.
Because that's gone up some, hasn't it?
It has. Well, I'm sorry, $9 billion. And Trump has a $6 billion stake, apparently, in that. So my question is like, and the numbers that I'm going to give you is like, first of all, there is a 19% drop in usership month to month since last year. 19%. It is a 4% in this particular year from month to month, continued drop. On actively, so we say on actively, you know, let's say TikTok or Twitter for that fact, or X, whatever we'll call it. I think they have like, you know, 100 million or something a day, you know, active users. 113,000 active users on Truth Social every day, and it continues to decrease. You're telling me, and we can do the math. Let's do the math. You know, divide 8 billion by that 113,000 people. You're telling me each of those users are worth that much on a monthly basis? There's bullshit. Why the hell isn't the stock market saying fuck this? You know, this needs to be delisted. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I mean, it is a scam, in my opinion. I don't know how they're propping this crap up. They have no revenue.
It's like part I just don't get is who wants to buy the stock?
Well, a lot of his core people have bought it.
His
and they've lost their ass.
MAGA, but it's like let them buy it because they're just going to lose their ass on it.
Well, again, he keeps gaining value. They keep losing value because the stock keeps going down. Where the hell is he getting the value from?
I don't know.
Who's assessing this to be $9 billion?
Trump?
Yeah, but there's SEC rules and regulations and documentation and crap like that you have to do. Yeah, I mean, it's
there was
he's
another,
doing exactly what he did with his companies and got the $400 billion.
People get away with it until they don't. There was another girl who had
but he has a fucking $450 million fine against him for doing the exact same thing, fudging the books. This is now a publicly traded company where people are losing their ass, their life savings, people who supported him.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I'll bet there's somewhere in the law that allows it to happen.
Yep.
It's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know, and again, when we sit here and we talk about, you know, people paying, and especially, you know, wealthy people as well as corporations paying their fair share, this is a prime example where the problem is. This is a prime example. It's one thing that, you know, a Mark Cuban who actually wires off $250 million for his taxes, you know, the guy paid his bill. You know, he did his due, you know, and that's impressive. You know,
but I did see this past week where this Trump supporter spent half of his retirement into Truth Social
and lost it all,
and lost 3/4 of it, and he eventually had to sell because he was going to end up losing more.
I mean, I don't see how anybody can believe in somebody that much.
I don't know what I would do. No, it's too risky, man. The stock market is too risky.
Well, especially if you're in high risk stocks. I mean, and that's exactly what that is, especially when you have no revenue and you're continuously losing users on that particular platform. You know, it's one thing if it's a low risk, you know, like an insurance or something like that, you know.
Well, Trump's got, 6 months. He's got to wait 6 months before he can sell, right?
Unless the board changes the rules.
That's
which
true.
They can actually, you know, basically change and waive those.
And I mean, as soon as they change the rules and he starts selling, it's going to start tanking more because he's going to want to get out and get as much money as he can out of it. But I look at right now, it's like all you're doing is seeing the MAGA people, if they're going to support Trump and all that stuff and they're going to lose their money, I don't care. let them lose their money or whatever. If they believe in that guy so much, go all the way for him.
Yeah, but the way I kind of like parallel this is, if he's willing to do this to his company, he's going to do this to the United States as well.
Well, I know.
The government.
That's a different story.
And you sit here and you talk about, we want a businessman to run the country. Well, this is the businessman who's had 6 bankruptcies and basically is fudging the books on everything that he ever touches his hands to. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's who we want to run the country? That's who we want to have the nuclear button on his hands? No, I just don't think so.
In his diaper.
Well... I wonder if Diapers' business has gone up since he's, maybe some of his core fans are actually, wearing diapers now too. Anyhow,
Diapers.
And we're going to finish this particular one up on 2 different subjects, obviously GOP related, and we want to talk about the embattled governor of North Dakota.
She doesn't like puppies.
Apparently, she hates dogs who don't do what they're told to do.
Yes.
And apparently she had a dog that was extremely playful and rambunctious, but it wouldn't hunt, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
So the bitch shot it.
Shot the bitch.
Yeah.
And this was like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. This was
it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I know, but
that's exactly what she's thinking
I'm
now.
just giving clarity. This was like 20 years ago, and it came up, and it's coming up now is because
she put it in the book.
She wrote a book, and she put it in the book.
The stupid bitch admitted to it in a book. I mean, Americans love puppies.
They love dogs.
Here she is vying to become the vice president candidate on the ticket, which apparently she shot herself in the foot, no pun intended, simply because Trump's, of all people, if Trump thinks it's disgusting, it's fucked. Mm-hmm. Because that's exactly what's apparently rumored, that he is extremely upset that she killed her dog and then bragged about it.
Well, no, it's not. No, it's not that she killed the dog. It's not that she bragged about it. It's because it does not look good.
Oh, I'm sure that's the case, but still.
If it looked great, if it was getting great publicity, he would think great about it. It's just like...
It does, and apparently she put it in there because she thought it'd be great for the core base, that she was a strong woman.
Yeah.
No, white trash people like dogs too. Let's be honest. Most of them have like a dozen or dogs out in their rural areas. So, that's the stupidest thing to do, But also, that's not the only thing that she did. She also put in her book that she actually confronted when she was a congressperson, Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea. And then she stood her ground to him and he backed down. She never met him. She lied. This is the interesting thing about it. There was also another thing that she lied about specifically, and that was some sort of conversation that she had with Nikki Haley, and what she said that she took as a threat, that Nikki wanted to be her mentor and yada yada and things of that sort. It's just crazy shit and all that. But I think that the interesting thing about it is with Kristi, her campaign person or chief of staff, whatever it is, spokesperson. I'm sorry, I apologize. They've come out and they said yes, that is incorrect and it is going to be removed. We've gotten hold of the actual ghost writer as well as the publisher because it was brought to our attention that the upcoming book No Going Back has 2 small errors. You killed a dog and you lied about seeing a communist leader.
So they're taking the dog out of the book now?
I don't know if they're taking... No, they're taking the Nikki Haley one out as well.
Okay.
Where apparently, whatever conversation she had with her. This is somebody who wants to be the vice president candidate, which apparently she may not be now.
But isn't she also the same governor that can't be on like 50% of the land in her state?
That is correct. The actual tribes have actually prohibited her from going anywhere in those reservations.
Yep.
So, I'm really running that state really well. Again, I'm trying to just and this is not the majority of the Republicans out there, folks. This is just these extreme, ridiculously
MAGA.
Or maggots. I like to call them. They're freaking maggots. That's what I'm going to start calling them. They're maggots. Hey, the maggots are at it again. And let's speaking of another maggot, we actually have a Republican rep here in Texas who also is a maggot, who also has been lying. First of all, he's obviously in the House of Representatives, and he is basically saying anything and everything that we do in the House of Representatives should be driven so that we can get Trump elected as president of the United States again. You work for the fucking people of the country, bitch. That's the work you should be doing.
Yeah, but they believe it's all for Trump.
Trump is not United States. 360 million people is who you work for. Although it's really 750,000 people in your district. Your constituents is who you work for. It's not Donald Trump, because Donald Trump could give a shit about your people. You know, so... but let's talk about Mr. Representative Troy Nehls of Texas. You know, he's obviously has this whole reputation about speaking his mind, and you know, he wears the Trump ties and the Trump's name. I mean, I don't know who the hell would want to be that obsessed with someone that you have their name plastered across your chest, because in a suit,
Right.
No, dear. I mean, well, he's also been lying about his military record. And let me tell you something. I take huge issue when you lie about your fucking military record. You know, my father, who served 26 years serving this country, you know, in intelligence, that's a no-go. No-go. You know, basically, he's wearing on his suit today. He wears one little medal, awards, or whatever it is. And basically, it's classified. I want to make sure I get it right here. Combat Infantry Badge from Afghanistan is what he's wearing. It was revoked in 2023 because he never saw combat. He was basically, he was never Special Forces. He was actually a civil affairs officer. Now, I don't know what the hell civil affairs is, but it sure the hell doesn't sound like anything important to me. You know, it definitely doesn't sound like somebody who's out, you know, facing dangers in the Taliban every single day. You know, so this son of a bitch is wearing this. On top of this, he is wearing acknowledgement that he's actually had 2 Bronze Stars. He's only had 1. So he's lying about his service to the United States military. Just like Senator Tom Cotton of Alabama or Tennessee, whatever it is. Arkansas,
I think.
I mean, anybody who's going to lie about their military service is not fit to run in any office whatsoever. I'm just sorry. You're not.
I agree, but I mean, you're going to have a lot of people say, "Well, everybody lies."
Right.
And I get that. I get politicians embellish. I get politicians make up stuff. I get Al Gore invented the internet. I get that. People do that. You're lying about defending this country. That's different. That's where I draw the line.
Okay, that's your line, but that's not where everybody else draws the line. It's just like a lie is a lie.
Then everybody else out there who's sitting here saying, we're pro-military, we're pro-blue, we're this and we're that. You're pro-shit. Because this man is basically shitting on the military by lying about his service to the United States. And he should not be allowed to actually, one, wear those badges, those awards.
Right.
And also, he should not be actually serving in the United States Congress, in my opinion. Now, granted, he was elected to, and those individuals who obviously the majority in that particular district elected him are probably stupid themselves. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe they didn't know at the time, and so if it just came out, then come November, we'll see if he gets it.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm sure there's a couple of other Democrats out there who've lied about their military service at all.
Yeah.
The majority of the individuals who've lied about their military services have always been Republicans. Majority. Because they're so pro-military. They're so pro-law enforcement. And yet, they're willing to actually see the Capitol Police get beaten up and killed. You know, and they're basically more than willing to lie about their military service. I have problems with that. You know, the hypocrisy is just ridiculous.
I get it.
Well, anyway, folks, I mean, that's not the way I wanted to end this particular podcast episode, you know, a little bit harsh there, you know, but hey, you know, we actually started it off pretty funny too, with the diapers. So, but thank you for joining us for this particular episode of Buddies, Booze, Banter's Unfiltered Conversation. I am Rick.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Alex.
Until next time. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you later.
Space. I like the song. Found some place, and I miss Michael. Buddies.
Boo.
Banter.